Hello everybody, welcome back to another stream, video thing, whatever you want to call it. But here are 20 Pokemon games you and I had forgotten. Number 20, Pokemon Conquest. This is arguably one of the most bizarre and out of the blue crossovers in gaming history. Like, Pokemon Conquest takes your favourite pocket monsters and plops them into hardcore tactical strategy world of non-beginner's ambition. While this is unexpected, to say the least, the final product is an okay and well executed spin-off that successfully pleases both Pokemon and tactical RPG fans. This one you definitely forgot. I don't want to hear that you didn't. You heard this. You've never heard this. Pokemon Channel. More of a surreal tech demo than a fully realized game. Like, Pokemon Channel is a strange mishmash of genres that essentially revolve all around watching the in-game TV. You know, unlike other titles on this list, Pokemon Channel isn't a hidden gem. It's just hidden. So it's hard to recommend that anyone should seek it out unless, of course, they've got a taste for collecting truly bizarre items. Right. Pokemon Magikarp Jump. Magikarp Jump isn't necessarily a really bad game, nor is it like a game that did anything wrong to deserve being forgotten. In fact, the one reason that nobody remembers this game is because of its massively, overwhelmingly popular, family member, Pokemon Go. This cute little title never stood a chance when compared to some, an unstoppable juggernaut that is Pokemon Go, you know. Just think shame. Pokemon Trotype is number 17. Despite its status as an RPG, the Pokemon franchise has a slew of game adaptations, with the Trotype series being a relatively forgotten entry. The first game is a variation of standard puzzle game setups and features truly adorable Pokemon heads for the pieces. But the second game, Pokemon Battle Trotype, is a far more unique experience, particularly due to the inclusion of battle mechanics. The whole Pokemon Pinball series. There's been a number of pinball spin-offs for all kind of franchises, including Metroid, House of the Dead, and even Kirby. But this particular entry is focusing on the two Pokemon pinball titles, ingeniously incorporating the thrill of catching Pokemon by turning the pinball into a Pokemon. These two titles are more fun than they should be, especially if you're a fan of the series. Plus, the first game has a rumble feature built into its cartridge, which is nuts. So, yeah. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series, don't get mad at me, It came back, but I'm going to talk about it, because it got forgotten for so long, and I love this. The Mystery Dungeon moniker is actually the name of a series of road games, like games superheaded by the co-creator of Dragon Quest. Never played. Interestingly, they've developed a few licensed games using the gameplay and the name of the Mystery Dungeon series, like the ones featuring Final Fantasy's Chobo, and the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series is one of them. While popular enough to spawn a franchise, the games were never particularly highly regarded in the West and have since fallen into relative obscurity. Right, we're just going to talk about this here, because it needs to be talked about. Pokemon Puzzle Series. The Pokemon puzzle games are actually a ton of fun to play, but they're rarely brought up in conversations as must-haves, or even remembered as existing in the first place. If you're a Pokemon and puzzle fan, it's worth your time to seek out copies of these too. but you'll be intellectually and either sexually pleased. Or even one featured a fully animated cutscene on the Nintendo 64. Right, the Pokepark series. I never forgot about this, but I'm just going to talk about it because everyone has seen it. The plot summaries of the Poképark game read like products about resulting from fan fiction written by children, with the first being about Pikachu getting with Touch and Mew, being tasked with acquiring parts of the so-called Sky Prism, which protects the titular Poképark, and the second following the misadventure of the electric mouse and its powers visiting a park. There is no escape. Dun dun dun! Likewise, both games in the series were savaged by critics and fans, meaning it's best at least this one, but they were fun. Pokémon Dash is a 2005 number 12, Pokémon Dash. Pokémon Dash is a 2005 Nintendo DS racing game that incorporates the touchscreen and stylus into its gameplay by having players use it to influence the actions of their on-screen Pokemon. No, Pikachu. This game was met with a less than stellar reception, most of which was focused on Pikachu and the lack of being the only playable character, the sloppy controls, and overlap of meaningful content. Number 11, Pokémon Ranger series. Despite their unique elements, the Pokémon games are still JRPGs at their core. The Pokémon Ranger series is a JRPG at its core too, but contains plenty of unique elements and mutations that separate it from the mainline entries and standard genre concepts. Interestingly, catching the Pokemon doesn't permanently add them to your team, and the action itself is done through the stars rather than Pokeballs, which is not a move if you want to make a good Pokemon. Right, number 10, Pokemon Box, Ruby and Sapphire. Because Ruby and Sapphire isn't forgotten, but the box version. Does anyone remember the Game Boy Advance link cable for the GameCube? No, well, it's no surprise that Pokemon Box, Ruby and Sapphire isn't exactly on the tip of anyone's tongue either. As the title implies, Pokemon Box isn't exactly a game, but a way to store your Pokemon on a GameCube memory card using the GBA link cable. That said, you can breed your Pokemon and interact with them, so the game is technically more than a mere organization tool. Pokemon Shuffle. The final puzzle-based Pokemon spin-off on our list, Pokemon Shuffle made its debut back on the 3DS in 2015, and has since gone on to appear on the phones. That's the key word right there. Phones, like Magikarp jumped for it. Pokemon Shuffle was lost in the shuffle by all-consuming Pokemon Go. Pokemon, gotta learn them all. First off, we have to give props to Mattel for admittedly perfect and deliciously clever yet cringy title for these 10 mini CD-ROMs. Aside from being collectible, because of course each disc contains a few mini-games, utilities, and even educational content, if you somehow found yourself intrigued by this entry, you can seek out the Premier Series Collection and Limited Edition box that houses all 10 mini CDs. You're welcome. Right, but learn with Pokemon, typing adventure. Like many kids who grew up in the 90s, Mario, Luigi and Peach helped to teach us how to type during computer class, but the beloved Pocket Monsters made their own attempt in Europe, Japan and Australia on the DS of all things. Bizarrely, or perhaps not, the game was an impressive success in Japan, while it comparatively floundered in the West. My Pokemon Ranch. A WiiWare title released in 2008, My Pokemon Ranch gave players the ability to transfer up to 1,500 of their Pokemon into the game. While similar to Pokemon Box, My Pokemon Ranch had a few more bits of extra functionality and content to it. such as quests given to you by the rancher, Haley, and the light progression in the form of expanding in-game location. Right, number 5, Pokémon 2000. No, we're not talking about the movie, we're talking about the promotional, first-person adventure game that was created for the sole purpose of hyping up the power of one. Played through a browser, this lets you explore 3D environments and use your Pokemon to overcome obstacles, which actually sounds pretty cool. But unfortunately, contractual issues led to the game being pulled quickly from the service, with most of it being lost forever in cyberspace. Right, number 4, Pokemon Trading Card video game. Yes, the original. Believe it or not, the widely popular Pokemon Trading Card game actually got a digital adaptation for Game Boy Color, which featured a streamlined version of the gameplay found in the series' mainline entries. Obviously, instead of catching Pokemon, you'll be collecting cards, but you're still battling trainers and earning gym badges. In all, it's a fantastic game and well worth playing, especially if you never figured out how to play the physical card game. Number 3, Pocket Monster Stadium. No, we're not suggesting that you or anyone else really forgot about Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, or even the subsequent spiritual successors. We're actually talking about Pocket Monster Stadium, the first game in the Stadium series, and the one that was kept in Japan. Simply put, it was a few bare bones of the game we eventually got, and there's a read-through few remember it existed in the first place. Pokemon Snap. It's the original. This is the original one. This is a special case because unlike basically everything else on this list, fans aren't the ones who have forgotten Pokemon Snap. Instead, it's Nintendo, Game Freak, and the rest. For years, decades at this point, we've clamoured and begged for a sequel, remastering or ever guarding Pokemon Snap, but it seems like no one with power is even vaguely interested in throwing us away. Before we get to our number 1 spot, honorable mention! Pokemon Playtime. Playhouse. Pokemon Playhouse. No, Pokemon Playhouse. Yep. 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 Right. Number 1! Drum roll, please! Detective Pikachu! It's not as Detective Pikachu wasn't well received or popular in its own right. It's just a recent live action movie. Recent live action movies so thoroughly eclipsed it that when people hear the words detective and Pikachu in a sentence, they might immediately contact the images of the theatrical film rather than the particularly unrelated game that shares its name. Yep. Good job, guys. Alright. That was 20 forgotten Pokemon games in 30 minutes. And I'll be